You got control for this? You got to go bring it back to where it was.
How you doing?
So I ask the question, are you ordering to do this or are you suggesting this? I was told it was a suggestion. Phone call ended.
I smell Luciano.
A officer of the law got onto Twitter and started making a particular reference. Law enforcement's lives are now the cost of one across on your vehicle. I went ahead and took a look at the fines and times on the MDT. Same one you can reference down at the courthouse. And lo and behold, I found out that the judges, after this change, had immediately upped the fines for a number of charges in order to counter this change. No announcement, no nothing. That $50,000 rifle, revolver charge, it was now $125,000.
Thank you.
God damn.
Oh,
Right on.
I made a phone call and I asked the question, what exactly is going on? I was then told, due to the fact that I changed it to 50%, they're going to take it upon themselves to make sure that these fines and times are balanced. So I asked the question, is this in my purview or is it in your purview? What is the point of a mayor having control of the fines and the times if at a whim it can be changed from underneath you? Where is the conversation with the public? Where is the transparency? Imagine you go to jail tomorrow and all of a sudden the times and fines have changed all of a sudden. Why? Because someone felt like it. I challenged that very question. And I said, is this in my purview or yours? I was then told that I needed to change this or else. The fines would get changed once again because apparently officers were making phone calls within a 15-minute period. I want you to think about this. How many phone calls did you get in 15 minutes? Apparently a lot of officers were saying they're only worth one across now and it needs to change. I wonder who that could have been. One officer calls the judge and all of a sudden the fines and times are changing. What world do we live in? So I said, listen, we got a funeral. Let's talk about this afterwards. And the answer was no. We're going to keep it this way. I said, what happens when I talk to the PD and we got to go alter these things and we bring it back to 100% like you're really pushing me to do? That means everything's going to double. Doesn't matter. There was no conversation to be had. So I asked the very obvious. Where the is the logic? Nobody, whether it's myself as an elected official or anybody with any semblance of power, should be able to wake up on the side of the bed and without, just because they want something to be a certain way, change it right then and there. In fact, I'm gonna mention something that many of you may not know, and I'm gonna apologize for not being more transparent in the past. Legislation has been consistently changing without any notification to the public for some time now. Some of you may be aware when it came to all the legislation that was contested, the Los Santos ones about 3 weeks ago. That wasn't the only case. In fact, have a chat with some of your lawyers. They were waking up and finding out that there was some silent alterations made to every little piece of legislation in there, and in some cases, no note of any amendment. The question I leave everyone with today is, you voted me in. Some of you may not have, and you may not vote for me next election. Some of you voted in Andy. You may not vote for a next election. But is this not a democracy? How do you go and contest legislation that the very next hour after it gets repealed can get altered in that moment? How is that? Where is the checks and balances? Where is the due process? Where is the transparency? Members of the media, any questions we can answer?
Yeah, I've got a question, Nino.
Come on up a little bit. Feel free to use the microphone.
So my question being, would you say what's happened today is blatant corruption?
Ooh, shit.
Corruption is a
starting
very
hot.
interesting word.
Right?
There's objective fact, objective logic. Is it objectively corruption? No one's defined it. That's the crazy thing, right? But I think deep down in our hearts, if it smells like shit, it probably is.
So if you've got this idea that it could potentially be corruption, right? And this hasn't been outlined yet. Obviously corruption's illegal, right? Will these people who did these acts, will they be investigated? Will there be consequences if this is corruption?
Where are the marshals?
I think that's a very good question, and I think those are the things that we need to start thinking about post this press conference. Should it? Yes. Should it be looked into? Absolutely. That
So-
a judge ordered a mayor to alter things that is within their purview under threat. I want you to keep that in mind.
Okay. So
Not all
following
threats
on from
need to be
this,
violent.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Following on from this, right? Obviously, you're not happy with what's happened. You don't agree with what's happened. And it looks like a lot of the public has been maybe lied to or not given the information that they should be given, right? You've said that you've been involved in this, whether it was like by order or not, or you do know about it. From now on, what due process are you going to enforce or try to enforce to make sure that this doesn't happen again and the public is known about every legislation change?
I can tell you that on our end of the spectrum, we've actually taken steps. Many of you are involved or have friends that are involved. We have a 25 to 30 person legislative review board consisting of civilians from different sectors of Los Santos County, giving them early previews and ability to bring up their problems before we even put it on the doorstep of the DOJ. We want to continue down this line of transparency to make sure that when things do get passed, that the general public has a say.
Well, what you're saying right now, right, is things have been being changed without consulting this board, no? Without consulting these 25 people, right?
These 25 people are only Los Santos County. The other things are state legislation, which we have zero purview of.
And are we going to do anything to try and change that? Or is that just going to continue,
I think that is a question for not just myself, but everybody in this crowd. I think everyone has to ask themselves deep down, is this just?
Okay, no, perfect. That was all from me.
We had another segment of the news media. I'm looking left and right. Are they still here? I want to open up questions to folks in the crowd. Anything in regards to this topic. All you got to do, just kind of step forward to the microphone and have you give it a go.
I got a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on up.
Alright, so okay, can you guys hear me loud?
Yeah, get close and then use the microphone.
There we go. Hey, from my understanding, so are you saying our charges in general are more than what they were yesterday?
That is entirely possible. There is no way to audit it. I, after being given explicit permission, reduced all fines in the city down to 50%. Under the guise of it being about killing cops, which was some bullshit on Twitter, right, and back and forth, those charges were then altered to be the same amount when it was 100%.
Oh,
And thus,
shit.
having now been forced to put it back at 125%, where it originally was, some of those charges may be higher than they once were, Well, like I said, I have no way to audit this. I did take documentation of what was before and afterwards, so I'm going to go and try to audit it myself.
All right. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Feel free coming on up.
How you gonna audit it? You gonna get arrested?
I do not know what's going to happen to me from here on out, but I'm sick of being silent and allowing these things to happen without the public being at least at minimum aware of things changing around them that affect them, affect their friends, and affect their family.
Are you worried about getting arrested because of being transparent? Is that what you're saying?
I would be surprised if there was not an attempt to impeach me. But you know what I say? Bring it the on. I got nothing to lose.
And he got probed.
Bobby? Come on up. Ask your question.
You, Bobby.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
You, Bobby.
Keep it civil.
That's right. You, Carmine. You too, Carmine.
Everybody calm down.
You, Bobby.
Everybody
Motherfucker.
relax now.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Get the out of here. Get the out of here, Bobby. Get the out of here. You don't want to think. Fuck cool, motherfucker. Have some of this, huh? Fuck cool, huh?
I'm pretty
That's
sure
right.
he's going to ask.
Bobby,
The answer is Bobby.
Out of my face, huh? Out of my face.
Bobby,
that way.
look at me. Look at me, Bobby.
We're good there.
Listen.
Thank you.
All right? I know you're special, right? But no matter what people say around here,
That's right.
Get this man a helmet.
all believe you're worth more than what it costs. All right?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Is that what they know?
Any other questions? Don't be shy. Come on up. Luciano.
I think it's safe to say here. Can everybody hear me? Back over there, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Sound great.
The
The people of Los
Shut the fuck
Santos.
up, you dumb
The
bitch.
people of Los Santos. I think it's safe to say here. The mayor must be protected at all costs, no matter what. We're all on one side, despite waving different flags. We must protect the Nino, no matter the outcome. Don't forget what he has done for us. That is all.
Tight shit.
I agree with that.
Funny how we're talking about corruption. Ruby's back there yapping.
This is I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Luciano.
Agreed, brother. Agreed.
There are a lot of different ways that we can
Give
go
me a
about
quick
this.
retweet, Luciano. Thanks.
But I think one thing is significantly more powerful than any kind of sword.
It's a vibrator.
Any kind of thing that we're used to handling, whether you're a cop or whether you're someone else. You know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of ways that we tend to try to resolve problems. But today, I think it's your voice that's going to be more powerful than anything else. So, tonight, tomorrow morning, we are going to have an article up detailing each and every bit of 4K evidence that has been recorded throughout this entire encounter with a timeline. And I want you to take the time and read through it. And if you think there's any bullshit in there, call it out. But if you think there is a problem, the best thing you can do is to scream out up against it. Because at the end of the day, this is a democracy. And it needs to remain as such.
That's right. That's right.
Because that's a lot of people lost their lives many months ago to give this city a second, a breath of fucking fresh air. And while some of you may have been against it, the fact of the matter, we're here now.